Okay.
Good afternoon, and welcome to HUS Talk with myself, Dr. Abdullah. I'm the chair of the Human Services Program, and with me today is Dr. Boone Thornton, the associate chair of the Human Services Program. Today we have with us Ms. Sherry Harris. She recently earned a badge under the Center for Alternate Pathway Programs by completing a series of undergraduate human services courses. She will share her experience with obtaining the badge and how she plans to use the information learned in the courses as well as the badge. Ms. Harris, thank you for joining us today, and congratulations on being the first recipient of the QMHP badge.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
Well, we are eager to hear from you today. So let me just advance. And if you could just tell us a little bit about yourself first and what type of work you currently do.
Hello. Currently, I work with the CSB, the Hampton Newport News Community Service Board, as a case manager. However, my background is in behavioral health. I've been in the behavioral health field for over 20 years. Most of that is working with kids. So I was working with kids. I've worked in the hospital setting. I've worked in the school setting. I've done in-home. So all of this kind of got me to where I am now. I do have the qualified mental health for children, and the adult was just a natural progress for what I wanted, so that I can have the complete picture or a complete resume for what I do and how I can help those in the community.
Thank you. That is so wonderful. You've provided so much information, and I'm sure as we continue through with our interview, some things you may be reiterating them again. So that's great. And once again, welcome. So we know that taking the courses and earning the badge, that represents your professionalism, as well as a quest for learning and a desire to further your career goals. But if you don't mind sharing, why was it important for you to take these courses which count toward certification?
It was important to me because I've been away from school for a while, and things change. A lot of things change. And it's important to keep up with the research, keep up with what's out there, and to educate yourself. On the job, you get on the job training at times, but you miss the bigger picture. So it was important for me to go back and to get this certificate, not to be grandfathered into the program, but to get the background with it, that when I do go out in the field, I know what I'm doing, not necessarily just from experience, because there are times when you get experience from on the job, but it's always not the best, or it's always not the right way. So I wanted to do things the right way, and that's why I chose this path.
Oh, okay, great. That's wonderful to hear. And that's always good to help others who may have the same background, to help them with making those determinations. So thank you for sharing what it was that was important for you. And then next, which skills and or functions will be the ones that you can see yourself using on a regular basis?
On a regular basis, one of the skills, the interpersonal skill, the interpersonal human services, where how you deal with people, when you talking to people, some of the things that you need to take in consideration, the respect, the background, to look at that person as an individual. Those are some of the things that I'm going to take away. One of the classes I took was on the disabilities, intellectual and development disabilities. And that was very important to me because, like I said, I've worked with kids, but those kids don't stay kids forever. They transition into adulthood. And with that class, it kind of showed the picture of, okay, now you have these kids with the disabilities. This is how you help them to navigate the system so that when they become older, you know what they need, or have the parent who is not who don't have that experience, because a lot of times you have parents who have kids with disability and they don't understand, and they don't have anybody to take that time to explain to them, okay, this is what it means, this is what might work best for your kid. They might find themselves, that the parent might find themselves in an IEP meeting and they don't understand the jargon, and no one takes the time to explain the jargon. So now, even with my role now as a case manager, even though I still work with kids, some of those kids have disability, and I can use what I've learned to help the parent navigate and get the help for their kids that they need to be successful.
Excellent. And thank you for your answers to that. That was well said. I'll just put it that way. Yes. And then the next question is, how do you think employers will view you now that you've completed these courses and added them to your professional development?
As well as employers, I think they will see it as a plus, because like I said, a lot of people could be grandfathered in with a qualified mental health professional adult, or with the adult or child. But when you have someone who goes that extra step, that now they, on their own time, not being mandated to take these classes, show that they want to be professional and they want to deliver the best service that they can. So now that employer can see that this person is dedicated to this field. This person is dedicated to helping the community. So therefore, they took that extra step. This is somebody that we want in our company, not someone that's just want to get something, a paycheck or a salary or career, but somebody who really take the time to apply to this position because they took the time to get the qualification they needed on their own to be a benefit to that agency.
Excellent. And thank you for your response for that. And now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Boone Thornton for some follow-up questions for you as well.
One of the questions, Sherry Ann, that I want to ask you about is the course on theories on aging. How do you think that course is going to prepare you for these baby boomers who are now one of the largest populations when it comes to the elderly? And how will you use those skills and techniques towards earning this new badge, QMHP-A, for adults?
As far as for that class, one of the things that I found beneficial, and I think that needs to be put out, is there's, like you said, there are so many baby boomers, but they're not prepared. A lot of times people will think that once I get old, I'm going to have Medicaid and they're going to take care of everything, and I don't have to prepare because the government is going to take care of it for me. That class opened my eyes to something totally different. It opened my eyes to some of the inequalities that's out there. So it showed me that when you're with an employer or with someone, to kind of advocate, say, hey, look, I need to make sure that, or you need to make sure that you have these plans, these 401ks, all these services that I can tap into now, because guess what? I'm going to need that later. And a lot of times people don't see that. One of the things that I learned from that class also, females, they're disproportionately affected by this, because a lot of females have that big helping heart. They have a family and they put that family first, which is rightfully so. So they take time to take care of babies, they take time to take care of sick loved ones, but they don't take time to prepare for the future. Putting that money aside, maybe even working part-time so that they have something going into the system. So I think this class really opened my eyes to what needs to be done, or how others need to make sure that at as young as possible, start preparing for old age, because we all are heading that way. We can't stop it. You can try, but there's no pill. We're all going to get that way. Another thing that class really opened my eyes to is the importance of taking care of self, and taking care of self now, because it's no fun live in old age, but you live in old age in bed because you didn't take the time to eat healthy, to exercise, to connect with loved ones, to have a social life. And those are kind of things that even with a company, it's important for them to have some kind of outlet or promote good health. The CSB, I think, is doing a good job with that. As far as, we had a comedian the other day because it's mental health month, just to show that we have to be connected with other things outside of work, expanded to even outside of family, and making sure that we're tapping into these things now that we're younger, so that later in life we can enjoy, our golden years.
That's an excellent response. And then I have one more thing to ask you. What would you say to someone who was interested in taking this micro-credential? What would you say? How, from your experience, now that you're out and even while you were going through the course, what would you tell them?
This is college. This is college, and therefore you have to be prepared and you have to set time for the course. For me, that first class was an eye-opener. I'm not gonna lie, because I had been out of school for so long. So it was an adjustment, getting back into, okay, I have homework, I have to read, I am still working. So that one kind of set me, once I got in that groove, I was able to go ahead and finish off the course. But just so that they know that this course, it can be challenging, and that's a good thing. You will be stretched, but that's a good thing. You might be uncomfortable with some of the exercise, say with the group, having a group with your peers, or having to go out in the community and do volunteer hours. It's going to stretch you, but it's a good stretch, because once you do that, it really builds that self-confidence, like, hey, this is not as bad as I thought it was. I'm enjoying this. And you learn so much from it that it you can take it away and you can put it in any aspect of your life, some of the classes that you take. But it was great. It was difficult at first until I got into that groove. But once I learned that you need to set time, it was good.
Thank you so much.
So thank you so much, Sherry, for joining us today. It's been such a pleasure meeting with you, and we appreciate you sitting down with us to share your experience with completing the badge. And we wish you the best in your professional endeavors, and hope that maybe we can do some collaboration in the future. So once again, thank you for sitting with us for this, to share this information about your experience with the QMHP.
Once again, thank you for having me, and it was a wonderful experience. I would recommend anyone who wants this, like I said, even if you're grandfathered in, it gives you a different side of what the program and what's out there. So I do recommend the program.
Thank you.
Thank you.